Pranam Master. Uh, the issue of the social issue of depression and suicide has always been existing. And during the COVID times, it's been even more.
Yeah.
Uh, is it like the inputs that we all, the beings here, are taking? What is the reason for the increase, and what is the reason for this existence always of depression and suicide?
Okay. So Jaswinder, we had been talking about these issues even before, and these are like very, very important things to be spoken right now in this yuga right now that we are facing, that we are going through, and the whole world is going through the situations. Now, what is depression? Depression means that you're under pressure. Okay, so that is what depression is. You're under pressure. So under pressure to what? That is what everyone has to know. That under pressure to what? So you see, this world is like all full of beings. Okay, so this world, the earthly reality that we see right now, that we can like actually see where we are living. So this reality is basically full of beings. There are all beings around. Okay, so the situations are also from being to being. Okay, so situations are also coming from being to being. So there are two kind of things in this reality. One is the natural calamities. Second is the situation that occur through beings. So there's no other thing. Okay, so either it is the external things which are happening, which are more nature born, or the volcanic eruptions, the earthquakes, floods,
Mm.
lightning
Ji.
striking.
Mhm.
So these are the things which are by nature. So other
Mhm.
things are like the situational things, which are like from being to being, which other beings are bringing into the being's life. So that if one doesn't know why these
Ji.
things are happening, what is the role of karma, and how these things can be tackled. Okay, so then there is pressure. The being builds up a pressure inside. So to what extent the being is able to take that pressure depends on the maturity of the being, the maturity that the sum total that being is, like the total consciousness that the being is. So that depends on that. Now the most common reason for depression is being's total unfitment into the society, the societal norms which are absolutely not normal. So the norm has to be normal. That is why the word norm means, it's a short form for normal, is given. So the norms has to be normal, but the norms are set like a very in a very absurd way, in a very abusive way, which are like just uh, pushing people to kill their earthly time, and then at the end there is no goal fulfillment, there is no achievement of the purpose of the birth. So
Ji.
the education system, the financial system, the financial goals, the educational goals, in these all goals, like in youngsters, the educational goals have put people into like the youngsters into like gaining more grades. Okay, from all through their schools and the colleges and all this post grads, they have to like have more grades, higher grades. If they have higher grades, then they're considered good. If they don't have higher grades, so they're considered like not fit into the society. Now they'll not get a college, they'll not get a good school for admission. And then at the same time, these schools and colleges, what exactly are they teaching these weeks? They are teaching just to be a fit into the slave system that the authorities have built in the society. So more you are
Ji.
unfit into the slave system of the society, more depressive
Mm.
it becomes, because there is more number of people who are part of that system, and there are only few who are not feeling themselves to be fit in that society, be it education, be
Mm.
it marriage, be it relationship, be it finances, be it in any way, whatever all these systems are. So like suppose if I look at the youngsters today, so the bigger things in front of them is like financial goals. They have to like have a lot of money, which is like a very fake goal given to them.
Mm.
So that is one. Secondly, they have to get married at the right age, then having children, then a big bank
Mm.
balance, then car, a big house, and then at the same time disease is made normal, so that in such a society where the goals are like so artificial and the beings are running on artificial intelligence, so what will the state of that society would be? So such a sick and rotten society would certainly be depressed. So the word depression is just like a psychological term, that the being is under pressure, is not able to take pressure. So that basically is depression. So that is uh, the reason, like, that beings are unable to cope up with the pressure because they are not educated in the very early years of their life. If they are educated, they are given the right education to cope up with what exactly this reality is going to offer or pose, so then beings can actually prepare themselves. But that is not the case here. The thing is, beings have made certain statements like very normal, like everything. That is like another normal statement. And then like everything is normal, it happens with everyone. That is also like that. Then there is another statement that like when it happens with everyone, so you just learn on the go. And then another statement is life becomes the teacher, so
Life
these are
is
all
a
like,
teacher.
so these are like all lame teachings which are given to these people. And then ultimately when they're given such lame teachings, so lame will continue to blame.
Lame will continue to.
And then they blame, like, I'm not able to do it because of them. I'm not able to cope up because of that being, or that family member, or because of my father or mother or XYZ, because the beings
The
are not
blame
given the
game.
right education. Yeah.
G Master, the blame game again begins. It is like it's the easiest thing to do, not having the right knowledge.
Yeah.
Because it is through knowledge one is able to see the truth is, but it is all bookish knowledge that is being
And
given
then
from day one.
there is one more important thing that beings in this reality have to realize, that when you are on Earth, like Earth is a school. Okay, Earth is a school. It's a rehabilitation center where you have to rehabilitate your behavior, attitude, your speech, your actions. These are the things you have to correct, and you have to dissolve your karma, your karmic patterns. You have to dissolve, like whatever bad attitude you had been carrying, you have to now dissolve it. If you don't learn, then there are other ways you are pushed to learn. Okay, better learn in the right way. It's as simple as that. Now once the beings doesn't learn these things, and then depression is also there, because neither they have learned to correct themselves, nor they have learned the right discipline, nor they have learned what exactly this reality is, Earth is, earthly realm is, nor they have learned what exactly is going to happen to them after they get out of the body, the earthly body. Okay, so now when the being arrives on Earth, now there are people who are teaching like all this fake science, fake education, fake culture, fake belief system. They teach all that thing, and they completely program the being to live in a specific way. More the being want to get out of that whole program that the world is giving, like the teacher, the society, the peer pressure, the family, the relatives. They all want them to be like a specific pattern. The moment they want to come out of it, they are either like become the rebellions, or they remain under pressure.
Yes.
Completely remain under pressure. But one thing which beings have to know is that on Earth, which is the land of suffering, pain, sorrow, grief, punishments, just it is happening because of the corrections that the being has to make in their behavior. Okay, life itself is not a teacher. It is the situations which are going to teach you certain things. But are you going to hail through the situations problem free? Like being free from the problem, are you going to hail through or navigate through the situations without having any problem with beings or the things or situations? That is one. Secondly, things will continue to happen in this reality. Things will continue to occur to the beings, and many things will happen. Once you're on Earth, during your earthly journey, there will be many things which will be posed with. You will be exposed to many things. So one must not care about those things. One must not care about, because the moment you start caring about things, then you have to leave your behavior also, which you have like corrected if corrected. Like suppose you are, for those spiritual beings who are on the who are on the correct path. So the moment there are situations, you will be like exposed to certain things that you have to leave that behavior. You have to fit yourself again to the same societal pattern, the same program that the world is giving. So that is what these situations come for. So the moment you reject the situation, you remain problem free, and you hail through with your corrected behavior, right attitude of learning, growing, evolving, progressing, then there is no depression. Now, depression is what? It is just like a psychological pressure. It's a psychological term. And in the last 100 years, only the psychology has grown. That is why you see the number of psychiatrists, the number of psychologists, number of people who are talking about mental patterns, mental thing, mental terms, all those psychological terms, the disordered, those terms for the disorders which are like created in the world. It is just happened in the last 1 century. So because the world has pushed people, the societal system has pushed people to be just living in the mind, not in an intelligent way. Now, what is intelligent way? Intelligent way is correcting yourself right now, learning the right behavior, right action, right speech, disciplining yourself, and then moving on, hailing through the life. What is more important is sustainability. Okay, if you have sustainability, then there is no problem. Now people think suicide is a way.
Easy way, master.
Yeah. So people think suicide is the way, because once they think they will drop the body, it will be like very, very good for them. It will be like they'll be offered some bed of roses afterwards. It is just another level of ignorance. Once
running away from what is here at present, and then just thinking that there is something good beyond after this.
Yeah, because the beings are not educated in the scripture way. When the beings are not given the right script, they think there is nothing ahead of it. There is nothing which is going to come up. But if your spirit is not killed, spirit can never be killed, it can never be destroyed, it can never be harmed. It is only the body. So body you drop, but the spirit remains. Now, once the spirit remains, now the spirit will move on to something else. So the cyclicity of existence does not stop. The time loop does not end there. So the moment you come out, there is something else you have to face. Something else you'll be exposed to. Something else you have to go through. So in the scriptures, once beings are like given no knowledge of the scripture, and they are completely blinded towards the scriptures. And in India specifically, people only listen to those scriptures when someone dies.
Yes.
When someone dies, they listen to those Quran, those scriptures. Yeah, for all those
Quran.
Post the cremation days, they listen to those scriptures, and then still they forget it. That what is going to happen to them as they come out. So what all they will be like exposed to. So what they all have to go through. If they're spirit.
If they are spirit, master.
Spirit. If you have the spirit, then you have to deal with something else as you drop the body. Then there is no end to it, because the spirit does not die. It is only that the body dies, which in Sanskrit we call as Dehant. Okay, there is no Atmant, there is no end to the Atma, but there is an end to the body, Dehant. That is why it is Dehant. So beings have to know that suicide is a no way road. Suicide is a no way road. The only thing is right learning, right attitude, and right discipline at the right time, and knowing what exactly this world is. The moment you know what exactly this world is, there is no depression at all. Depression immediately ends. More you continue to battle with the system, and you try to fit yourself, calling yourself like a competitive being who want to be in the competition, whether in school or in the college or in the corporate culture or in the money terms, or in like, because these are the things what people have termed as like prosperity and abundance, but this is not.
The word competition is glorified, master.
Yeah,
it is like it's something very nice.
Competitive exam, if you do well, that means you're doing very good. But it is another kind of madness. It is madness. It is actual madness. Because to survive on earth, you just need food. That's all. Rest everything is provided by earth itself. Pranavayu is given by earth. water is given by earth. So only thing remaining is food. Food you have to serve earth, get the food. Okay, and basics of life is food, clothes, shelter. And I don't think beings today they have like you know any lack of these three basic resources, the basic try of life. So they have that basic try of life like in abundance. They have like good food, good like basics of food. Food also doesn't mean that you have to have like all luxuries of food, because body can survive on like very basics of food, and that too in the healthy way, like dal roti
Master,
chawal phal sabzi, so the body can survive. Yeah.
Master, now since you said that all are having in abundance food, clothes, and shelter. So if everyone is having in abundance food, clothes, and shelter, then still why the contentment is not there? It's
Yes,
just like
the contentment is not there because the beings here on earth, they are not taught the right laws. That is why they are running in a race. They are all the time running, and that is what you call as the rat race. That
gee.
rat race is always there, whether you are in school, from the very childhood itself, you are put into that rat race, and it is always there in the family. In the family culture also it is there, in the peer pressure or like the peer culture it is also there, among the friend circles, in the relatives it is there, so it is everywhere. So the beings have to learn to correct, know the land, know the laws of the land, and be free from the pressure and depression, because there it's the land without fear. Okay, it's a land without fear. The biggest fear is from the people and the kind of programming that the people bring from the system. That is the biggest fear, that you don't lose the divinity. The biggest fear is that there's no other fear on the land. Okay, and then suicide is not the way at all, because suicide is a no way road. The moment you enter that road, there is more to it. You'll be facing more than what you had been like facing on earth, what you were going through on earth. There'll be more things to that. There will be more situations, more challenges, more like sufferings which will come along. And earthly reality is like for few years, but the later on realities are like for more years. And scriptures like Bhagavatam and uh, Mahabharata, they mention it like very very clearly about what happens to the being. And then there are Puranic stories also which mention clearly that what happens to the being the moment they come out of the body. So that is what beings have to realize today, and they have to know that this is not the way, and they have to correct themselves immediately. And the earthly reality right now, what the kind of situations and the kind of uh, things that we are going through on earth and we are seeing on earth right now, the future is not that healthy if the beings doesn't correct immediately. There is an urgency of change which the beings have to know. And if the beings are intelligent, without wasting their time, they will correct themselves, and they will take the righteous actions in the right time, without like calling it depression or whatever. It is just like another way of running away from not correcting.
So, Master, it is the truth, the real knowledge that can bring awareness to the beings of
Certainly,
how things work on this
certainly,
land.
certainly. Yeah.
Grateful to thee, Master, for this wonderful sutra on working on self sincerely, being in discipline, knowing the truth of this impermanent land, and the chance, a very golden chance, every being receives to work for spirit beings here. Aapka Anant Abhar, Master.
All right.
Pranam.